So the question is, if you measure it the first time it's 3/4, the second time it's 12/16, is that possible? Yeah, it's definitely possible because 3/4 and 12/16 are the exact same thing. If we think about our equal fractions, 3/4 to get to 12/16, as long as we times the top and the bottom by the same thing, it's going to be the same. So I could do 3 times 4, 4 times 4, 3 times 4 is 12, 4 times 4 is 16. So they're the same thing. You can think about it the other way too. Let's say you got this first, you're just counting by the 16s. If I divide the top and the bottom by the same thing, 12 divided by 4, 16 divided by 4, 12 divided by 4 is 3, 16 divided by 4 is 4. So yes, they are definitely the same thing. All right, your math book in millimeters. Okay, on a ruler, the millimeters are on the centimeter side, but they're the really tiny lines. For every 10 or every centimeter, you've got 10 millimeters. So when I measured this book, I did it both ways just in case you did it one way or the other. The long way was 26 centimeters. The short way was 22 centimeters. So if we change those to millimeters, 26 in the centimeters, we would need to move it one to the right. The decimal point on a whole number that doesn't have a decimal point is always at the end. 1 over decimal point 0. So that would be 260 millimeters. If you did it with the other direction, it's going to be the same thing. 22 centimeters, we need to go one to the right. Decimal point 0 goes there. It would be 220. Now, it's very possible that you just could have counted up the lines. If you start at the beginning and count all the way up to the end, if you did this one, there will be 260 marks. If you count up between this one, there will be 220 marks. So one of these two should probably be your answer in millimeters. It's tough to call a right or wrong answer on this one. So as long as you're in the area, I'm okay with it. Here's how I did this. I think I'm 5'11". I just rounded myself up to 6 feet. Okay, and I looked at the door, and I stood over by the door, and it looked like there was probably another foot left of the door. So I just said the door is 7 feet. Okay, I just used it off of my height. Okay, I don't know. I mean, all you guys are different heights. I thought maybe if you guys averaged about 5 feet, you could do it off of that too. That's another way to do it. So if I was going to work in inches here, I would just have to figure out if I thought it was 7 feet, which I think it is, I can just do 12 inches times 7 feet, and I'll get about 84 inches. That's what I would say it would be about, 84 inches. Now, you probably did it different ways, which is perfectly fine. I could see another way. I could take one of these rulers right here, straighten it out. I know that this is 12 inches long, and then I could see how many of those rulers would go into it. Without measuring, I could do some estimating. If I'm looking at it right now, I would still say maybe about 7 of those rulers go into it. So 7 times 12, again, is still 84. So if you got in that ballpark area, you were probably pretty close. For number 9, here's my ruler diagram of between 1 and 2 inches. And I've got some different marks on here. The big middle one is going to be your half. The ones in between the whole and the half are going to be your fourths. The ones in between your fourths and your wholes, this size would be your eighths. And then your smallest ones are going to be your sixteenths. Now, these could equal a lot of different things using equal fractions if you think about it. 1/16 can only be 1/16. But 1/8 can also be the second 16th on here. If I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. There's 16 sixteenths on here. We don't always label them as sixteenths, but we're on there. Once we got to the 16th up here, 16 out of 16 is going to be the next whole. I could take our fourth here, fourth, 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 fourth. 4 of those make another whole. But I could change that to 1/4 would be 2/8. If I wanted to make it 16ths, I could do that. times this by 4 to get 16, so times that by 4, that would be 4/16. If I go over to the half, 1/2, 2/2, which would be 1 whole. 1/2 could be the same as a fourth line, which would be 2 of the fourths. Could be the same as an eighth line, which would be, let's see, what, 4 of the eighths? 1, 2, 3, 4. And we could even go all the way up to 16ths, which would be 4/8 is going to be, let's see, to get to 16ths, that would be times 2 and times 2. That would be 8/16. So to get this problem right, I was hoping that you'd go through each one of these lines and tell what each one of them could be, because there's a lot of different ones, and I can just pick out a random one here. I know this is 5/8. 1/8, 2/8, 3/8, 4/8, 5/8. It's also 10/16. 1/16, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Also 10/16. I could count up this one right here. This is my 3/4 line. 1/4, 2/4, 3/4. It's also going to be my, if I double those, it's going to be my 6/8 line. 1/8, 2/8, 3/8, 4/8, 5/8, 6/8. 16ths, let's see, times 2 to get to 16ths, 12/16. 1/16, 2/16, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12/16. Okay, so to get this one right, I'm hoping that you draw your ruler out, get your different marks in between, and label what they actually are and what else they could be. You will have to be really good to get this one. And I'm anticipating there will be a lot of different answers, which is fine. But the main thing I'm trying to figure out is if you can get a ballpark number and have a good way to estimate. What I did was I just sat at my desk here, and from whiteboard to whiteboard, I counted up how many bricks go across. And I counted up about 24. Okay, could be more, could be less, but about 24. And then I thought about the brick's length. And I thought, if I had one of those rulers, I know those rulers over there have like 30-ish centimeters on them. So I thought, that's a little bit bigger, so I thought that it might be 40 centimeters. And again, these are all estimates. So from one side to the other, basically what I'm saying is that 24 bricks times 40 centimeters, because each one is going to be 40 centimeters, or that's my estimate anyway. If I do 24 times 40, I get right around 960 centimeters. So I'm even going to round that to 1,000 centimeters. Okay. You could have a lot of different answers for this, because not all of you probably thought to use the bricks. Boy, I'm thinking about it right now, and it probably would have been easier to use the tiles on the ceiling. Because we've got full tiles that go all the way across. The problem with the bricks was I had to like estimate where the door was to get bricks, estimate where that board where the rulers and calculators are for bricks, estimate kind of around those posters. I guess now I'm thinking about it, I could have went higher up on the wall and got the bricks all the way across. But there's so many ways to do it. Okay, but basis is if you could just picture a ruler and go across, you could do 30 centimeters across if you know how many centimeters are in one of those rulers. If you can't do that, it's nice to pick out one of the things that's already in the room to kind of help you. So I got about 1,000 centimeters. You could have had a little bit more or a little bit less or a lot more and a lot less, as long as you had a good estimate to figure it out. I'm looking at the ceiling tiles right now. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I'm just going to do this right now because I think it'll be nice. Let's see if I'm even close to the same thing I got. 16 tiles, and it looks like each one of the tiles is like, I'm looking over and looking off the bricks. It looks like it's 1.5 bricks, which is going to be, one brick would be 40, half would be 20, so that would be 60 centimeters. So 16 tiles, let's see if I'm even close. 16 tiles, I'm just doing this on the fly here, so we'll see. 16 tiles on the ceiling times 16 centimeters apiece. Oh man, that is pretty good. I got 960 again for that one, so that's not too bad. So, somewhere around 1,000. Hopefully that's what you got. Hopefully you had a good way to estimate it.